The US may be opening another front in its international trade war, this time with its ally India. And New Delhi's already firing back. It's imposed tariffs on a further 28 American products, some as high as 70%. All this follows Donald Trump's refusal to exempt India from increased steel and aluminium taxes in the US last year. Back then, India threatened to increase its tariffs to as high as 120%. Ahead of the meeting with his Indian counterpart later this month, the US president accused New Delhi of not giving Washington equal access to the Indian market, is the American point of view on it. Polly Boyker and the In Case You Missed It team take a swipe at America's controversial trade policies these days.
How do you launch a war without needing to fight a war? In case you missed it, it's the economy, stupid. International access to the US market used to be a bit like dating the rich girl next door. Winning her over was not easy or cheap, but in the end, it was worth it. Under Donald Trump, those US markets are now leather-clad and stood in a well-lit Amsterdam window. Access is now expensive, and even if it was worth it, you know it's gonna hurt somehow. We all know that America has the biggest military in the world. Just look off the coast of whatever country you're in. There's a good chance that there is a US aircraft carrier staring right back at you. So now the US is weaponizing its economy in order to fight international disputes, and dominating the market is ICBS. Introducing the Intercontinental Ballistic Sanction, ready to be deployed anywhere you need it. Advantages of the ICBS include causing misery to entire populations in countries you don't like without firing a single shot. Collapse the economies of your opponents and then blame them. Attack countries without actually having to deploy a single soldier and then accuse them of aggression. And remember, once deployed, ICBS will work for decades with absolutely no effort from you. Just keep it fueled with a strong dollar.
Intercontinental ballistic sanctions rarely change anything. Side effects include resentment, or you can't win unexpected discharges. Please consult your allies before use.
Sanctions are great to use against the likes of Cuba, Venezuela, North Korea, Iran, Russia. You know, the bad guys. The problem is, you can't use them against the good guys. Which is why Donald Trump's administration has repackaged sanctions. He calls them tariffs. Tariffs allow you to target friends like Mexico, Europe, Canada, and especially your buddies in Beijing. Because while sanctions are used as punishment, tariffs are just a normal part of global trade. But the way the US has been using them, there's no difference. China's started fighting back, though. Apparently, they've started to prevent the release of American films. This might all have a Hollywood ending after all.
Well, we spoke to the editorial advisor from India's Republic TV, who believes there's nothing equitable in business these days.
It's not a trade war, it's a Trump thing. That's what Trump does. I mean, he needs to make these noises. He threatens every country. He's constantly saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to up the ante. There's nothing equitable in trade, no more than there is anything equitable in foreign policy. The big guys do what they want. Okay, there's only self-interest. The entire trade, the trade platform has never been equitable. I mean, you cannot compare a country of the American economy size to Indian economy. We all are growing. All the countries need each other. Trade means trading with each other. This is business as usual.